rhetorical explanation for everything that I have here. So we are going to start with the flyer because the flyer is the first thing that I made. This is a very, very, very simple flyer. The goal of this flyer was to reach out. This was my FSU audience. So let me go over that really, really quickly. This is my MP3 campaign proposal. My campaign is supposed to be, I'm supposed to be going over the pilot shortage. So I'm supposed to be arguing why the pilot shortage is bad, spread issues and spread awareness about it, as well as try to get a few more people to be recruited to become pilots to help lessen the issue. So my first genre is a flyer. My two audiences are FSU undergraduate students who are about to graduate and not 100% sure what to do after college. And my second audience are Fleming Island High School students and the JROTC program that are also looking for something to do after they get out of high school. So my first flyer is addressing my audience, the FSU audience. This is a flyer saying we want you to become a pilot. It has the little pilot guy right here. Join us in HCB. That's one of the classroom buildings, April 15th. Just kind of made up a random time and date. So the goal of this was to, of course, get to FSU students. This was supposed to be put around, and this was supposed to be for an informational meeting to help people understand what you need to do to become a pilot, some of the steps. As you can see, I used a couple of the colors, like the classic garnet and gold here. The goal of that was, once again, I'm appealing to FSU students. I want them to understand what I'm doing. I also used some very, very familiar imagery. As we can see with the font, as well as the image I have here. It is supposed to be very much resembling the Uncle Sam posters that you would see during World War II, the ones that say, "We want you to join the US Army." This is supposed to be kind of a mimicry of that to help students see it, understand, hey, this is what they're going for. Overall, that is about all that I have to say about this. A couple other things. This is for an informational meeting, so of course I have the info about the meeting so the students can see that here. Other thing is, students who are looking to become a pilot most likely understand the military aspect and the fact that a lot of pilots were military, and they would have an interest in the military, period. That is why I included the Uncle Sam military imagery in there. We got the pilot guy pointing at you and makes it feel personal, personalized. That's another really big thing to get to for students. Moving forward, we have the presentation. This is not the presentation. What happened to my presentation? My presentation is not here. One moment. Here's my presentation. Don't know what happened there. All right, this is a very, very short presentation to demonstrate my point. This is a demonstration about this presentation is about the Naval Air Force by a veteran. This is our veteran guy right here. So this is for the Fleming Island High School students that are in the JROTC program. The goal of this presentation would be to have a guy come in, give this presentation, talk about why the Air Force is cool and why you should join it and that kind of stuff. So, as we see here, we have this guy, Chief Warrant. That is a very, very big name in the military. It is also a name that the JROTC students will recognize because JROTC has a Chief Warrant in their teacher ranks. So that is, of course, important. Here I have a picture. This was the ROTC teacher at the school, and it's just kind of a reference picture. This is the About Me page. So this talks about all the sorts of stuff he did and how long the military service is. The goal here is to show students that military service can last you quite a while and get you high places. This is to kind of convince students hey, maybe you should do this to join. This is a picture of him right here with the Blue Angels because he did serve in the Blue Angels. That is something I added to the character. I have a particular slide where he's going to talk quite a bit about the Blue Angels. Goal of this slide is to be hey, this is the super cool stuff that we did. He is actually in this picture somewhere, by the way, just a cool little fun fact. Talks about a couple of things that he did here. In this slide, he would, really get into why he was in the Blue Angels, some of the cool stuff he did. The goal here is to wow the students. This is more of the wow factor. This is really the emotional factor. That's what I'm going here with this presentation piece. Is hey, this is why you should join because of all the cool stuff. It's supposed to be really hey, for lack of a better word, glamorizing the idea of joining the Air Force, joining the Naval Air Force. And then, a basic naval slide with some of a couple planes that the students might recognize. That is it for this presentation. Then we are going to move forward to the board game. This was more, quote unquote, my bigger piece. So, as you can see, we have two different sides. We got the green planes here and the white planes here. Each side has a large set of dice. You can draw, I don't know if you can see that is a recruit card, and then you can also draw the event card. So you might be thinking, how exactly do you play the game? I got rules on this next slide. Eliminate all enemy players in the battlefield. That's what you see right here. This is the battlefield. It's based on grids. You move them based on the amount of grids. How to play at the start of each round. You pull a recruit card. You can read that on your own if you wish. But that is besides the point. My goal here was to go ahead and demonstrate why the pilot shortage is such an issue, as well as appeal to a larger audience. So this one is supposed to appeal to both students, simply because the students they feel for board games. Gaming is something that is very particular with younger audiences, and I figured video games or board games would be an easy way to reach them, especially if it's something that was played in class, like in a classroom, or perhaps played at the ASLC, which does some occasional board game stuff. So the goal here is the event cards. If you read the rules, event cards, each event card changes something about the round. Some make certain spaces unavailable, some upgrade capabilities. However, that most important part, most events cards will be a pilot shortage card, forcing the player to remove one plane from the battlefield. That's the goal of this here, is to show, hey, this is why the pilot shortage could be a problem in real life, and it's creating a problem in the game. If it wasn't a problem in real life, it wouldn't be an in-game mechanic. That is the goal here, is the pilot shortage. And now you might be wondering, like, yeah, okay, so what does it do if you have one less plane? Whenever you're in combat, one less plane, which means one less dice, which means you're more likely to lose the encounter. That is the important part, is saying, hey, the pilot shortage negatively affects you in game. Imagine what it does in real life. It's supposed to be more of an example-based thing right there. This, of course, appeals to students who are like, damn, that's unfortunate. This is also to appeal to students who already, like I said earlier, have that military-based feeling to them, understand really what's going on. They already know a little bit about the military. They enjoy it. They enjoy planes. They enjoy Air Force, that kind of stuff. This is more of a, hey, this is an issue, presenting that issue straightforward to them. And, maybe they would attend. If they're at FSU, they could attend this, or maybe they'll also hear this. And then if they see or hear both of those, then that might make them more inclined to go ahead and be part of the solution.